I changed the settings on my laptop to do something fancy, and now I can't open two windows at once. So I don't know what I did.
Well, you have a Mac, so my Mac brain like closed probably like 25 years ago. It's been that. I used to be a Mac person. I had a Mac laptops, I had like the original, like whatever, the one like where you carried it by the handle, the blue, like crystal blue clamshell thing, like the iLaptop, whatever. I was always a Mac person. I just grew up that way. I mean, I grew up in the Bay Area. So like literally Apple was discovered in my backyard, not my backyard,
right,
but like a few neighborhoods over. And so that's just what we had. But then like at some point I had to shift into PCs. Probably for the work world, like after I finished college, like probably for the work world. And then I like went back into the school world. I kept it for my personal use. Like when I was in law school the first time, because I had to do I stopped and then I restarted, but whatever. The first time I used it. And that was a long time ago and stuff. And then I like went back into like the professional working world, and like all I ever used were PCs. And then like I got a MacBook. Oh, God, it was like a MacBook 17 or something. So it's like technically a laptop, but it was so big I'm not like using it as a laptop. But I had it like probably like 10 years ago. So I had remembered how to use it, and then it like disappeared. I'm sure if like that was all I had to use, then yeah, I'd figure it out again. But I use, PCs with everything else right now. So
I just figured it out.
Oh, you did? Okay.
So if anybody wants to know, you go to your top right, there's a little line thingy looking thing next to your Wi-Fi button, and you hit stage manager, whatever the hell that means. Yeah, it was weird. I was like, I can't open more than one.
Upgrade to like the new operating system?
Probably. Yeah. I'm like, come on, computer, I need you. I took notes. I need to see Katrina, and I need to see my notes at the same time. I cannot function without seeing Katrina's face.
I know, right? Like, even though we don't record that part, like, I mean,
or thank God, look at us.
Like, it's so much easier to have these conversations when we're looking at each other and seeing each other's reactions. It's just like much more normal conversation for us. Not that we can't be adaptable and figure it out other ways, but it's just this is our preferred way.
Yes, it is.
Or if as I say, I guess preferable. It's preferable. And apparently I say that word funny.
Who says that? The trolls online, or
no, my husband tells
the
me
troll in your house, I guess.
The troll in my house. I don't know, like I guess preferable versus preferable.
I say preferable.
Yeah,
that's
he makes fun of me.
Whatever. Tomato, potato,
I don't
know.
But now at this point, he's made fun of me so much. I don't know if I originally said that preferable or preferable. I don't know. I mean, who knows? I don't know. I don't think that's not even one of those things that's like regional dialectic or anything like that. I don't think like pop is, or some other, like I was told
pie instead of pizza.
Yeah, and just there's slang and stuff like that, but there's dialectic differences. So like I was born and raised in California, Northern California, and then I went to college in San Diego and stayed there for a long time. I left California I met my now ex-husband, but baby Frauded's dad. I had met him in the Midwest. He's from North Carolina, but he was in the Midwest when he and I met up. And I went out there, and he's with all his like army buddies because he was like doing army training and stuff. And they all told me that I had a California accent. Now, this was the first time I'd ever heard this term before. Now, I mean, granted, I just told you I had just spent my entire life at that point, up to that point in California. So like, why would it, be any different? I had done some traveling. I worked at a summer camp in Pennsylvania. And I worked with people from all over the country and all over the world, actually. So it's not like I was like sheltered when it came to this kind of stuff, but this is the first time I'd ever heard California accent. And when I went to go look it up, and I have since heard it more often, I've heard it from other people, and I went and looked it up, and it's actually a thing. It's some way that California natives or whatever say, some of our vowel sounds.
Yeah.
Like there's certain, like if you look it up, it's some dialectic difference, right? And once I learned what it was, then oh God, I thought, okay, here it is. I was like, oh, okay.
I feel like California too is like a big melting pot of people that come from everywhere too.
Yeah. It's something with our front vowels are raised and things like that. Like there's a vowel shift. There's called like a California vowel shift. So it's like the way, these are people who, it's like linguistics and stuff where they're talking about where your tongue in the mouth is and how that's all whatever, like all of that stuff like is foreign to me because it's all like science and whatever, all that stuff. It's just not how my brain is wired. But yeah, so anyway, dialectic differences. Anyway, so I had a massage yesterday at my local Massage Envy, a new to me place. For a long time I had a girl that came to my house and stuff, and anyway, variety of reasons I was going to the Massage Envy. Never been to this person before, but it was the only person listed on their app that did deep tissue, and they were available. So I was like, okay, because every time I try to book there, they don't have anybody available for deep tissue, and that's what I need, and blah, 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 blah. So I had booked this guy, and I went in at it was like at my lunchtime yesterday. So it was like noon. I go in, I meet this guy, and I explained to him what I need, and he listens, and he's very receptive, which is always good. And he starts working on me, and we're talking all this stuff. I don't know how we got onto the subject, but somehow he ended up talking about how he had worked like event security, not like convention center security, but like the event security for, wait a minute. I want to make sure I say this right. To make sure I get it right. Okay, Anthrocon. Now, if you don't know what Anthrocon is, it is one of the preeminent furry conventions held in Pittsburgh. And it's gone on for years. And the only reason why I even recognized the name of it, Anthrocon, was because I saw a documentary on it. There's a documentary out there, and we covered it on the Patreon 8 million years ago during the pandemic. I think we were just watching everything we could on TV. It's some furry, there's a furry documentary out there that talks about Anthrocon. So that's the only reason why I even know what Anthrocon is. Or it was covered on like the furries episode that Lisa Ling did on Lisa Ling's America or whatever. So he's telling me a story about how he was working security at this con, and I was like, oh, what con? Just because I was asking, because I was curious, because whatever. And he says Anthrocon. I was like, oh, isn't that the furry convention? And he's like, yeah, well, I'm like, hey, everybody, you do you, boo.
Right.
Like, I don't judge. I don't judge anything, And I mean, he went on with the point of what the story was or whatever. But yeah, so you don't work security at these, like as event security, unless you are in with the management folks, which you're only in with those management folks if you've been going to the convention for a long time, right? And I'm not talking, like I said, I'm not talking about like convention center security that are like the management company or whatever, the building that it's in. I'm talking about the event has their own security people that do certain things, and they're all volunteers and things like that. So they're all your people that have been involved in the convention. So it turns out, looks like my new massage therapist is a furry, and I also know he's a heterosexual cis white man. He's married. Didn't
they say that a lot of them are males? and like I looked up the statistics of they said like something between like 70 and 80% of the people that participate in that stuff are males, which I was actually surprised. I thought it would be more equal.
Really? No, I feel like no, because I feel like it's a very like fantasy oriented thing, you know. I think so. I don't know. So we were talking about, one of the things we were talking about was crime at these types of things, and how like crime at that one, like violent crime isn't necessarily what the big risk is. Like sexual assault and, you know, being roofied and things like that, those are much more of common concerns amongst this particular convention set. But like violent acts against each other generally are not. But that somehow that was what, I don't know, part of what the conversation was. I don't know. But I have another appointment scheduled with him. I rebooked with him because he did a fantastic job on the spots that I needed and how I loved his technique. So I'm going to go back to him. And which reminds me, I need your referral for Massage Envy. So
yeah.
Get my
maybe I'll go to him and I'll drop Kai off with you.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
We'll I'm like, here, can you just babysit for a minute?
Yeah. I mean, literally, like you could literally walk there. I mean, I don't.
Oh, nice.
I don't, but you could. I have before because it's not even like a mile, like a half mile. It's literally like, yeah. Anyway. And across the street is where I get my chiropractic work done. So next time I scheduled them both for the same day. So I could have my big massage and then go across the street and have my big Russian manhandle me.
Nice.
And then I will also get scheduled with you like next week, get on your books next week. Because I think you're going to be starting to take patients next week, and I'm so very excited.
I'm going to blast it on social media as soon as you got anybody wants to schedule. I will put
and you guys take my insurance, which is even better. I would have been willing to pay, you know, whatever, but pay cash for it. But you guys take my insurance, and that is really fantastic. I love how insurance companies have been doing covering acupuncture for as long as they have. And that, you know,
I have a love-hate thing with the insurance company.
Well, I bet you do as a provider. Yeah.
Right. Because of course, like I want acupuncture to reach as many people as possible. And those that can't afford to pay out of pocket, it's great. I'm glad people can get treatment. On the other hand, just like any other condition, insurance companies don't want to reimburse, and it's just a hassle. But at the end of the day, if people are getting treatment and it's covered, I am so happy that people are getting better. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Between massage, chiropractic, and acupuncture, like all of those on a regular basis, like that is what keeps me physically in the shape that I need to be in.
Yeah.
Honestly. Like that's the best. And I've been without the acupuncture. Just a few times I've been able to go over there to have you treat me, but not like on a regular basis. Right. And I like it. I like it. I used to a long time ago get it on a regular basis, but
yeah,
it's so good for someone like me who has just so many random ailments because of the MS. And like this day, the lack of circulation in my toes particularly bothers me, maybe you could, or
right.
Whatever.
Different things will show up at different times.
Right. And you just treat all of it. And, all of it is so great. And different modalities and stuff too, So all of that is just so very exciting to me. So I'm very excited that you're getting
me too.
You're going to start to see patients.
Do you know who I want to massage me?
Captain Jason.
Yes.
I was going to say, we got an extra wet Wednesday again.
Yes, we do.
Bravo has started off with the double deck or episodes of Below Deck, Down Under, and we will be right back with our recap of both of those.
Oh my God, you guys, I want to tell you about this underwear that I'm obsessed with. It is the Fits Everybody collection by Skims, and it feels like no other underwear I've ever worn before. It's stretchy and soft, and it kind of just melts onto your body and you forget you're wearing it. Skims is creating the next generation of underwear for everybody. And I do mean everybody. My girls are a 34 double D. I've breastfed. I've had a reduction. I've gained weight. I've lost weight. I've been through it all. And this is my new favorite bra that I wear all the time. It is the Fits Everybody t-shirt bra. And I'm telling you, it's a miracle. A t-shirt bra I can actually wear. I love it. It's my favorite. I'm also a super fan of the Fits Everybody Racerback bra. It's my new go-to bra when working from home. The Fits Everybody collection of underwear is super lightweight and molds to your body. It's a buttery soft fabric that stretches twice its size without ever losing its shape, meaning that you get the perfect fit every time. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. You will get the perfect fit every time with these. And they're available in sizes double extra small up to a 4X. You guys, believe the hype. The collection has nearly 90,000 five-star reviews for a reason. The Fits Everybody collection and more perfect fit essentials are available now at skims.com. Plus, you get free shipping on orders over $75. After you place your order, be sure to let them know that we sent you. Select podcast in the survey and be sure to select the Fraudcast from the drop-down menu that follows.
Hey, you guys. You know that I love my Nutrafol. I've been taking it for a long time, and I'm going to continue to take it for a long time because I, like millions of Americans, experience thinning hair. It's more than common. It's normal, but it's not openly talked about, especially among women. Going through it can be lonely and frustrating, and it's time to change that conversation and join the thousands of women like me who are standing up for their strands with Nutrafol. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement, clinically shown to improve your hair growth, thickness, and visible scalp coverage. Nutrafol supports healthy hair growth from within by targeting the 5 root causes of thinning: stress, hormones, environment, nutrition, and metabolism through a whole body health. Nutrafol has 3 unique formulas to support women throughout all stages of life, including postpartum and menopause. Each formula is physician formulated using natural, drug-free, medical-grade ingredients in consistently effective dosages so you get the most reliable results. In a clinical study, 86% of women reported improved hair growth after 6 months. Over 3,000 top doctors and stylists recommend Nutrafol as an effective and high-quality solution for healthier hair. You can grow thicker, healthier hair and support our show by going to Nutrafol.com and entering the promo code FRAUD to save $10 off your first month subscription. This offer is only available to U.S. customers for a limited time. Plus, you get free shipping on every order. Get $10 off at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, with the promo code FRAUD.
Hey, Fraudcasters. Life doesn't happen bi-weekly, so why should your payday? The money you earn today can be in your hands today with EarnIn. EarnIn is an app that gives you access to your pay as you work, up to $100 per day or up to $750 per pay period. Just download the EarnIn app and verify your paycheck. Then access up to $100 a day as you work. Any money that you access is automatically repaid from your next paycheck. Make EarnIn a part of your financial routine and join EarnIn's over 3.5 million customers who say things like, when I think about EarnIn, I think about financial stability and security. It gives me a lot of peace of mind. I tell you what, you guys, just knowing that this app exists out there gives me a lot of peace of mind and security. Download EarnIn today, spelled EARNIN, in the Google Play or Apple App Store. When you download the EarnIn app, type in Fraudcast under podcast when you sign up. It'll really help the show. That's Fraudcast under podcast. Subject to your available earnings, daily max, pay period max. See earnin.com TOS for details. EarnIn is a financial technology company, not a bank. Bank products are issued by Evolve Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
And we're back. Okay. All right.
So we are talking about season 2, episode 2, Floating Circus. Previously, we see obviously the crew meeting each other for the first time, or not the first time, reunion, having a reunion. We know that they're short 2 crew members, so we're still waiting for those crew members to come. And at the very end of the episode, we see the obnoxious guest deciding to go swimming against Captain Jason and everyone's orders.
And by obnoxious, you mean the one that was all like initially on her preference sheet, no alcohol, and then shows up and says I want all the alcohol.
And then she says, yes. She
proceeds to drink all the alcohol and get snitty and bitchy with all her friends while she's super drunk all day.
Yep.
That guest jumped overboard. Say it ain't so. Couldn't have seen that one coming.
I wanted to throw her overboard many a times.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we see the guest. Now we're starting the episode. We see the guest talking to the captain, and they come to an agreement and understanding because Captain Jason is a pretty nice guy. Yeah. But then they ask him for more champagne, and he was like, "No, you're done.
You're done. Go to bed. Just one more glass of champs. No, you're done. Go to bed."
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. So speaking of the crazy charter guests, later on she talks to Aisha, and she's like, I want champagne in my room at 5:15 a.m. And Aisha was like, I'm not up that early. So and I'm like, this guest needs to just stop drinking because
okay, so you know how you asked me last time if I had opinion about her.
I knew you were going to bring that up. Yep.
So I had to see more of her behavior, and I think that she probably does have an alcohol problem, and this is why I say that. Not that like wanting a bottle of champagne there when you wake up is when you're on a 3-day charter. As long as you're not doing that every day, like nobody cares. Like it's fine. That's not problematic. It's when you're doing it all the time, and when that becomes a regular type of behavior for you, that there's a problem, right?
Right.
She asks for this in a way that is laughing like, I'm on a charter boat, a yacht. I can do this. Like it's excused, like drinking in the airport is, at 7 a.m. and things like that. It's an excuse. Nobody's going to care. Right. But it's clearly something she's done before.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying.
She was like, don't let my glass get empty. Like, I'm like, who are you talking to like this? Who do you think you're speaking to like this?
Super drunk. So
exactly.
In an environment where she thinks she can just be, I can drink all the things and be all this demanding and stuff because we're on this yacht. And no, like, do you see anybody else acting that way about alcohol and just to each other? No, you're the only one. So that tells me she is beyond her capability of acting normal in public, because we all have it. We all have it. We all have an amount we can drink in which we can stay acting normal in public and be okay, be acceptable behavior. And then we cross a line where it's not acceptable behavior. Mm-hmm. She's clearly crossed that line, and nobody else really has, even for yacht. And if we're talking wherever that line may be for yacht behavior, I mean, that line, because it's a 3-day yacht, like freaking drink all you want, who cares? As long as you're not doing that.
Really hope that I hope she watches it back and is able to be like, oh, holy shit. Like, okay, I acted not so great. Maybe I do need to address my issues, because she's not a nice person when she's drinking at all.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like,
I would be thoroughly embarrassed if I watched myself back like that. I'd be like, nope, never touching alcohol again.
But she seems like the type of person who, and this may be because of the alcohol, but it's hard to tell if it's alcohol or if this is just her personality, that she likes to blame other people for, because you saw another scene where she, don't shush me. And it's all about what that person did to her, right? You're shushing me, you're disrespecting me. She's doing the whole bit, right?
Right.
And the other girl was like, we're just trying to go one at a time, whatever. And, don't shush me, you're disrespecting me. And then the other time when the girl was trying to tell her she had something on her face and put her finger, she's like, don't do this to me. Like, how is that doing something?
You're starting drama or something. I'm like, wait, what's happening?
How are they doing something to you all the time? So she seems to me like the type of person who's going to go back and watch it and be like, okay, so maybe I didn't need to react that badly, but she did something to me.
She won't take ownership.
You won't see it as her behavior caused by drinking or her behavior at all as being an issue. She'll see, they did this to me. Maybe I overreacted. But I don't even think we get that from her. But in any case, she seems, because whose friend was she? Because it seemed like nobody wanted to claim her except for the one big like drunk gay guy who was like who went swimming with her.
And he was in her bed too, right? Didn't they share?
He was like the most tolerant and the most like her. He was most at matching her energy,
right? And he was drinking, and he was nice for the most part.
But he was matching her energy drinking wise, and so they were like buddies. But even he was getting sick of her at the end. But like, whose friend was she? Like, I
should get on the Reddit and figure it out. I'm sure there are people already like, oh, here's her age, sex, location, geographic. I don't even know. Just you know they are on Reddit, but whatever.
All right, carry on.
Then we see Margot arriving, who is the new Stu. And we learn that she's from Wisconsin and she previously worked for Amazon. And her experience has been that she's worked on yachts for like 6 months. So she's fairly new to the yachting world. Then we see Crystal starting fights with the guests again, which is common. I think I'll write that many times throughout this whole thing. We see Luke messing up and Captain saying he's wondering if Luke is a good person for the role. And I think that's when the ladder went missing in the I guess they dropped it in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, they didn't take it in when they just were taking off. And so they went cruising through the ocean with it attached and it didn't stay attached.
She gone. She's in the coral reef.
Sacrificed to the reefs the way that woman's diamond earrings were.
Yeah, I don't know about you.
People all wearing expensive jewelry when they're diving in the ocean.
No. Do you know what I keep waiting to see?
In a row.
I keep waiting to see, they keep doing the camera angle, like where they put the camera right below the water. You see the boat and they drop the camera below the water. I'm looking for great white sharks in Australia. I'm like, where are the sharks at? We can combine Shark Week with Below Deck Down Under and we'll have a great collaboration. Anywho, the guests are eating at a Moulin Rouge themed dinner and everyone is dressed up looking spectacular. Captain Jason is eating dinner with them and I'm thinking to myself, oh, here we go. What's going to happen? But it went pretty well. Right.
Yeah, nothing
crazy. Zarina says she strives to be a perfectionist and the food that she sent out to the guests didn't look spectacular. And Captain Jason said it looked a little messy. But it is her first charter guest on that tiny, tiny little galley.
Yeah, she's still figuring her shit out, like how to work best with the space and all of that, I think.
Right. So her food ended up looking pretty good by the end. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It looks like it tasted good. Like, she looks good. I love her so far.
Yeah, me too. She's her attitude. Well, then we see Laura, who I still can't figure out Laura. I don't know if I like her or not.
She's high maintenance in a way that drives me nuts because so when they were talking about the Cancan stuff, right? So she's like, oh, is it easier? Yeah, let's do Cancan. Oh, we don't have a Cancan dress. Okay, well, we'll make do, right? Which we see later that they do. They're all wearing these whatever tutus and stuff. She says that if she doesn't have a Cancan dress, proper Cancan dress, she can't dance. And apparently she was serious because Aisha went and got her, provisioned her a real Cancan dress so she could come and do the Cancan. So she was wearing her little tutu thing, which would have been fine. Yeah. But she had to have the actual proper Cancan dress and shows all of that. So she did it. To Aisha's credit, it didn't show it, but she didn't like argue with her about it. She was like, okay, fine, I'll just get it.
Yeah.
Didn't cause the drama. She's like, it'll be easier to just get it. She gets the Cancan dress. She does the Cancan.
And of course, but she took like 30 minutes getting ready with the dress on. And I'm just like, these guests are drunk. They're not going to remember how your eyeliner and mascara look. Well, I don't think they're going to care.
So we had the 20 minutes of her supposedly just changing the the previous day. And now we have her half an hour getting, demanding this Cancan dress and taking half an hour to get dressed. And then we have her getting ready to go out, taking an hour and a half while everybody else takes like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And she didn't look like she took an hour and a half. Like she looked as good as
everyone else. Yeah.
Margot, who took like 10 minutes,
Yeah.
Anyway.
High maintenance.
Carry
Well, the guests request to be woken up by handsome yachtmen. So my favorite part of this episode was when Aisha asked Captain Jason to go wake up the guest with a rose in his mouth and a little like Zorro looking mask thingy on, and hand feeding one of the primary charters food in bed. And I was like, this is the life.
Like hand-fed bacon by Captain Jason wearing shorts, and he wasn't wearing a shirt, right? Like he just...
No, he had a shirt on. He had a shirt on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Trust me, I was looking.
Whatever. You know, it doesn't matter apparently. Yeah, you know, like that would not be so bad. You know, bring me my coffee and some bacon, and I'm a happy camper. Like,
oh man. Whew. I'm all hot and bothered over here. Anyway,
I knew you would be.
Charlie's like nudging me, and I'm like, "Get off me, Charlie!"
A lot of hot Jason tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Hot Pants tonight.
Well, we see the breakfast that Serena cooked, and it looked really good. There was mini quail eggs, mini pancakes. Looked like she had a really nice spread. I love looking at the food that all the different yacht chefs prepare.
Yeah.
It's always fascinating to see how many ways can you do breakfast, you know?
Yeah. I like how, so like Rachel always had her like signature French toast or whatever, like that became a thing, which I'm dying to eat. You know, and other people have done different things, you know, different kinds of eggs Benedict or this or that or the other thing, you know.
Yeah.
So it is, and it's interesting. It looks like her neuroses is going to be her perfectionism. Because you know all chefs are going to have a neuroses, and it looks like hers is perfectionism. So, that will play out interesting.
It will.
Like, settle down. Things are fine. Things are great. You know, deck was a little overcooked. Everything else is great. You know.
Yep. Well, then we see drunk Crystal yelling at her friend saying she's like Beyonce. And then her friend is like, "Why are you drinking out of the bottle? That's not classy." And I'm like, I can't.
Walking her out.
I can't with this woman. So I put, why did they do Captain Jason dirty this season with this boat? Because it's like the rookie deckhand team. Captain Jason trying to dock the boat when there's no way to see anything. You can't see. He's like going in blinded.
He can't be outside to do it the way he normally does. He's got one propeller. He's got a fucking goat rodeo happening on the deck while he's with his fucking deck crew trying to get straight. You might as well just blindfold yourself and like back in, you know. Like,
I know, right? It's like how people drive in DC. They're blindfolded.
Right?
Well, you would know. You got hit by one of them, but are you
Maryland driver.
Maryland driver.
Maryland plates, Maryland driver's license. Lived in Silver Spring.
Oh, my neighbor growing up, probably.
Yeah, so don't be talking to me about Maryland drivers. Okay, anyway.
Yep. But like, do you think that they did this for ratings just to see the struggle being real, or do you think that this was a budget issue? I mean, there have to be yachts out there that they could have put them on.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, this production team is clearly not the same as the Below Deck sailing yacht team. You can tell just by the way the episodes are put together. You don't have like the same camera angles and camera shots trolling the cast the way, you know, it's clearly very different. But I wonder what the story is behind this fucking boat, because it doesn't look like a super yacht, and it looks like some aspects of it look nice. Oh, that dining room looked great,
right? But later on, the one guest comes on. He says it looks like the Polar Express. I was dying. And he's like the interior designer or whatever, so he knows his stuff.
Yeah. And then the next charter. Yeah. Okay. So then, after they safely get the boat docked, the guests finally leave, and I think I literally clapped to myself. I was so happy. The crew probably did too.
Yeah. The tip meeting, they left $17,500 US, which is better than I thought based on their behavior and how annoying they were. It's always hard to tell, but ignorant motherfuckers. Sorry. Actually, the one was really nice. Well, there was a couple that were nice and quiet. Well, they just didn't get camera time, but it's neither here nor there. So we're in the tip meeting, and Captain Jason gave the helmet award to Luke, since he's the leader, obviously he's the bosun, leader of the deckhands, and his crew lost the ladder. And he took it in stride, unlike last season when a couple of the people like lost their shit when Captain tried to give them the helmet. I'm like, it's just a joke. Like, calm down. It's not that
Did they lose their shit over it, really?
Yeah. No, I'm not wearing that. No.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Not an echo.
And then it was cute to see Aisha calling her boyfriend. They're so in love. It's so cute.
They're cute, yeah.
And talking about how they are leaving their converted ambulance to buy a house so that the money was going to be put towards that and they won't have to poop in buckets anymore.
You said poop.
I did say poop. Poop in buckets. I like Aisha.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
All right, so then we see Laura in the shower for a long time. We already talked about that.
How the rest of the crew like finally gets all dressed and they're all waiting and they're like showing the timer in the bottom 1 hour since starting to get ready. Took her an hour and a half while everybody else was done in like 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was just like kind of rude to not let
That's
her roommate
what's annoying
shower.
To me about her. It's not necessarily that she's high maintenance. It's that her high maintenance
selfishness
affects rest of the team, and she doesn't seem to have any self-awareness of any of that. It's like one thing to know you're high maintenance and be like, okay, I need to start earlier, or I need to, whatever. But she has no self-awareness. She's just like, it takes me what it takes me, whatever, and I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't seem to have awareness that it bothers her, that it's
it's rude.
Everybody else, but maybe that'll change. We're only like this is their first night out, so
yeah. Well, then they finally get in the van, and Aisha made a joke about like your labia hanging out, and tell me why Harry didn't know what a labia was. Am I that ignorant to think that like I would assume that men would know at least?
Yeah.
That. Am I wrong?
If you had sex, you should know what a labia is.
I would think so, right? I mean, that's common knowledge.
I don't expect you to like, maybe like, I would hope you know where the clitoris is, but I would like you to at least know that we have one, right? Not knowing the labia are a thing that exists is problematic to me. Not being able to locate my G-spot when we're drunk boning at 3 a.m, different scenario.
Yeah.
But just not knowing that I even have labia or is a body part that you have, like that's a little problematic to me. Yes. So maybe, like you said, and didn't somebody else on the show say it too?
I don't know.
Wondering if he's gay.
I mean, that crossed my mind. I'm like, is he? I don't know. Maybe he really just is a, nice. I don't want to say ignorant, but just like naive. That's the word. Thank you, naive. Maybe. Well, tequila starts coming out, so I'm like, this should be a good night. Everyone's dancing, and Luke comes in and picks up Margot on the dance floor after Harry and Margot were flirting. So of course, I feel like Luke is like the Gary of this season.
A little bit, yeah.
He kind of is cocky. He is clingy. I saw a lot of clinginess, a lot of just weird vibes.
But she has said that she likes confidence.
Yes.
She's not necessarily getting that from, what's his name? Baldo. He did kiss her. He did pull that, oh, let me get your eyelash. Your eyes are closed. While her eyes were closed, he bent in to kiss her. Like, he pulled that stunt.
He did, but if it...
Confident?
No, it's not. To me, it's not confidence. It's kind of cowardice because you had her close her eyes. If you were really confident, you would need to have somebody close their eyes to kiss them. I thought that was kind of weird. I would have been like, I probably would have slapped him actually. Like,
yeah, and she was like, I don't. She kind of pushed him away, but then she's like, I kind of have a crush on him. But then you see her later, like, oh, let's have coffee. And then Luke comes down, or whatever his name is. He comes down and is like, oh, well, I need to get coffee. She's like, oh, me too, acting like she hadn't had coffee already before. I was like, she's gonna play them both and see who she's
gonna be the Daisy. We've got Daisy and we've got Gary version 2.0.
I feel like she's gonna like see who she likes best over the next 2 days, and
she says she likes assholes, so I think she's gonna go for Luke.
Yeah, and he's more confident and whatever.
Yeah.
So
Well, that ends that episode, and we move on into season 2, episode 3, Ice, Ice, Maybe. So after Luke
wanted ice and everything.
Yes. After Luke kisses her, she pushes him away, and then she tells everyone I have a crush on him, but I just wasn't expecting it. I mean, it's night 1. It's crew night 1 going out, so
like a lot.
Yeah.
Well, you don't hook up with crew on the first night, Gary.
Right?
Gary.
Sorry, I can't.
I love it.
Every time. Luke and Margot are kissing outside of the boat, though, while he's wearing his super shiny helmet on their way back to the boat.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like following her around like a puppy dog, trying to make out with her everywhere. And he's like, let's go to the hot tub. There's no water in the hot tub. So, I mean, like, I don't know what he's trying to do. I'm like, what is this? I don't know. Super awkward. But they end up going their separate ways to bed eventually. So there was no further hooking up for the two of them. And the next day, Luke starts walking around and he's nitpicking the boat, but he's doing it in a way that makes him sound like an asshole. I feel like he's not being like a leader. He's just being a douche. And Harry kind of mentions to him, hey, I had a crush on Margot or whatever. I'm kind of feeling her out. And Luke was like, yeah, man, well, let's see what happens. Let's see who she chooses. And then in his interview, he was like, he has no chance. Nice guys always finish last. And I'm like, I fucking hate this guy. I don't like him and I don't like Adam. I don't know. You're muted.
I'm sorry. I'm having a total coughing fit over here.
Oh.
And I'm like, like when it's like one of those really bad ones where you pee your pants.
It just doesn't stop. It just keeps going.
It just keeps going. I'm like, fuck. God damn. This is why I wear period panties, even though I don't get a period. Anyway, carry on.
But you know how many women are listening going, yeah, me too.
Same.
Hey guys, Hetero Life Mate here. We're coming up into the busy months, weddings, college graduations, your stepmom placing third in a dog grooming competition. We've all got reasons to celebrate this summer and a lot of reasons to gift. So why not give them something they'll love? Give them drinks and get them all from Drizzly, the go-to app for alcohol delivery. With Drizzly, you can shop from a huge selection of beer, wine, and spirits and get them all delivered from stores near you. Looking to save some dough? Compare prices and find the best deals on the best drinks so you can spend all that extra money on something that you really, really, really need. Like that ginormous pink inflatable flamingo. Who doesn't need that? Then get all those drinkable gifts delivered to wherever the summer shindig is digging. You'll probably be getting a sappy thank you card in no time, and ordering is easy. Just download the Drizzly app or go to drizzly.com. That's drizzly.com, DRIZLY.com today. DRIZLY.com. Ding dong, it's Drizzly. Must be 21 plus, not available in all locations.
Right?
Samesies.
Ladies?
Mm-hmm.
Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, after that whole just douchebaggery in the interview room, we see that they go into a preference.
I knew you were going to hate him. I knew
you knew it. Him and Adam don't like either one of them so far. Maybe that'll change, but we're in the preference sheet meeting and we learned that Jack is an interior designer. He wants all drinks chilled with ice. So this is where Aisha did kind of mess up because later on we'll see that she didn't put all the drinks on ice. But he seems very particular, but whatever. He seems cool too. And then all of a sudden we get the new deckhand finally arriving, who is none other than Culver from last season, who is from Southern Maryland.
Okay, yeah. So I didn't watch the whole season. We've talked about this. I only watched like the last two episodes. So I saw him, but it wasn't nearly enough of a picture to, it was that end wrap up, where clearly there were some issues, but not bad issues. Like it was hard to get a read on who he was and if we liked him or we didn't like him. But when I saw Aisha reacting to him, I was like, oh, okay, so it must be a good thing. And then Jason didn't fire him,
Right.
So I was like, okay, I don't know. So maybe if you can fill us in on his backstory.
Yeah. So he was really, really fun. He was a good time. On a previous boat that he had been on, he was the chief entertainment officer. So he was used to engaging with the guests on a higher level than just being a normal deckhand. So he did both. He got along with everyone. From what I remember, the only things that they said about him that were, I guess, sort of negative were that he was kind of starting to like not slack off, but just not take it seriously or not do like all the work that should be done, I guess.
Complacent.
Yeah. Complacent. Right. But he was never bad. I mean, he was the nice guy. Everybody liked him. Nice guy, knows his stuff.
Did he hook up?
Hopefully we'll see that side of him.
How was he?
No.
Okay.
No one from what I remember. I think he tried to hook up with a guest. Did he?
I heard stuff. I heard stories about that. Or I heard them talking bits and pieces.
I can't remember. All the below decks are blurring together in my brain. Everybody's just on one big yacht in my brain. You know? Adam came out when Adam was doing the what do you call it? The anchor watch, and the second chief officer came in to take over. I was like, Colin? Oh wait, no. Wait, that's not Colin.
Chief engineer? What? No.
What's happening? Where am I? Oh, I'm in Australia.
Not on a sailboat.
Right. Exactly.
Fishing boat turned yacht.
I'm on a Japanese fishing boat. Somebody online was saying it was probably used to kill whales, and I started crying. I was like, no.
That's why there's so much space underneath.
I know. That's why I figured. I was like, oh my God.
Oh.
Well, then Luke apologizes to Margot for forcing a kiss on her, which I thought was nice because I thought that was really weird. But then again, in his interview, he said she fucking loved it, which gives me creepy entitlement vibes. I was like, okay. Exactly. I gotta be careful what I say here, but I was like,
yeah, I think we're okay saying it gives us creepy entitlement vibes at this point. You know, we're not saying he's a date raper or anything like that.
Right.
You know, but he's a fuck boy.
Oh, 100%.
He's 100% a fuck boy, and he gives off fuckboy vibes. So, you know, we'll see what happens. So,
well, I think another highlight of these two episodes was Harry walking in on Chef in her underwear, and he didn't know what to do. He was like giggling. I'm like, look at this little schoolboy. He's so innocent.
Oh, Harry.
He's just like standing there, like
doesn't know what labia is.
Yeah. I'm like, I wonder if he's even had sex before.
Now, I think it was the first episode, though, where Harry and Margot were having a conversation about age, and they asked how old somebody else on the boat was, and they're like, oh, he's old. He's like 30.
It was Luke.
Like,
yeah, Luke was
Harry,
30.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Harry. And then he didn't know what labia were. Okay. I see where this is going. Okay.
So we see the guests drinking their wine and asking for ice cubes. And Aisha's like, these guests have Michelin star taste. They want extra ice cubes in their wine, which I laughed about. We sometimes make fun of people in the service industry that like will order things a certain way.
Right.
Or like steak well done with like steak sauce. I'm like, I don't even eat meat, but I'm like, you don't order a steak well done. You just don't.
No.
There's no, and also if you have to put steak sauce on it, then
the steak isn't done right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
yes, 100%. 100%. So yeah, during this whole scene, right? I mean, they put in this preference sheet, they wanted ice in all of their drinks, right? I guess Aisha didn't read it, didn't take it seriously, didn't see it. I don't know, like whatever, but she didn't do any of that. And then by the time this dinner rolls around, fucking, what's her name? Laura thinks she's all that. This scene shows it, right? Because she says to Aisha, like, hey, should we bring ice out to them too? And she's like, Aisha's like, no, we'll wait till they ask for it. And it's like they kind of already did in their preference sheet, and they've been asking for it at all the meals and whatever thus far on the charter. They showed a montage of it, like they're dropping ice, right? Like they'd asked for it already. I think Laura was absolutely right to assume that they would have wanted it. Let's bring it out,
absolutely,
and have it there. what was not cool of her was later when it turned out they did want this ice, when she goes to Aisha and says, hey, I was right. We should have had the ice.
Mm-hmm.
They all wanted ice.
Yeah.
Aisha's like, well, first of all, it was only a couple of them. And second of all, like, well, she didn't
Don't call me out like right now,
like,
basically.
fuck you very much. I mean, she didn't say that second part because she's too nice, but I did.
Yeah, but I did.
Anyway.
Yep. And so then we see them putting up the slide, the deck crew, Adam and Culver and Adam are trying to put the slide together, and Adam's like, go slower, and he's like yelling at him, and I'm like, what is going on? Why is he being a piece of shit to Culver?
Adam or Culver?
Adam's yelling at Culver.
Yeah. And Culver's like, yeah, this ain't that serious. Like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, tame down your anger. We're just putting a slide out. Like,
uh-huh. Well, then we see one of the guests losing her diamond swimming. And then you said, why would you wear diamond swimming earrings?
Which, what's his name, finds at least one of them later on the
Harry,
the swim deck. So,
and then we see Adam trying to draw out stuff and try to quiz Luke and everyone else in the deck crew about certain things on the boats, and I don't even know what he's talking about. Who has the right of way? And
like,
bro,
rules of the road, so to speak, when you're out on the water, and like all of these things. And this is all things you need to know at the various levels of navigation and captaining and, you know, boatswaning and all that stuff. You need to know all that stuff, and theoretically you're supposed to learn while you're on these ships. Like, that's, you know, from your higher ups. But yeah, it was very weird and awkward, and it's like, wait, was it the bosun like doing, like, it was just, all of it was very weird, and it was weirdly timed, and I was like,
and Luke was like, I think he's covering up he's covering up the fact that he doesn't know how to be a proper decky. The dude gets seasick and can't even eat on the boat, and he's like, I think he's just trying to project his insecurities on everybody else. Like, you know, he is covering up that fact. But we see Laura saying Aisha's standards should be higher. Again, she says that later on. Mm-hmm. Did you see the one blonde-haired guest that I thought it was Ashley Flowers at first, by the way? I was like, oh, it looks like Ashley. It wasn't, but from Crime Junkie, I was like, oh, that blonde-haired girl looks like Ashley Flowers.
It did kind of, but these were just a bunch of rich socialites from Sydney.
Exactly. So let's so then the captain's eating dinner with the guests, and of course they're all hitting on him. Duh.
Oh my god, I know. Does he, like, I mean, at some point, I mean, they all do this stuff of being objectified for the guests' entertainment because they want the tips. I guess Jason's no different, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's not quote unquote the real world where like if I was objectified like that all the time on a regular basis at my place of employment, I'd have lawsuits, you know. But I'm like, thinking into those situations, it's a totally different thing. Like, okay, you know, like, chill the fuck out, right? And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like there's HR on board. So
right. And it's not amongst it is amongst the crew as well. But I mean, like, it's the guests, and, you know, you can tell them to knock it off, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but they don't ever show like an interview of him going, you know, like, you know, saying, hey, yeah, you know, it gets old, or like, that's kind of gross, or you ever see him complaining about it, you know.
No, he probably likes the attention.
You know, it's nice.
He looks you could tell he gets a little shy, you know. He's
a little shy.
I'll take you out of your shell, Captain Jason. I'll get you out of that shy shell. Just you wait. Anywho.
Hey.
I'm sorry. Okay. So
do you need a pair of period panties?
Probably.
All the drip.
Probably. Well, Captain hugs Zarina, and at this point I got jealous. And she says, don't let go. And I said, I get it, girl. I wrote down, I get it. Like, don't let go. Anyhow, okay. I feel like it's late at night, and it's not. We're recording earlier today, and I'm tired.
Yeah, but it's earlier in the day. So
yeah. Well, one of the things that Adam was supposed to do the night before on Anchor Watch, he had a list of like 4 things besides watching the anchor. One of them was cleaning off like the table that the guests set out, the dining table, and the floors right around the table. So it was to detail and clean that, which he did not do. So of course, the guests are sitting there for their breakfast, and one of the guests steps on broken glass that was spilled the night before. And he cut his foot pretty bad.
yeah,
Bleeding a little bit. But had Adam
wasn't cool at all.
Right. Had Adam done his job and not just glanced at it and walked by and actually hosed it off and did all the things, he wouldn't have cut his foot. So I'm like, this guy who comes off so cocky, knows it all, talks about right of ways and yada, 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 is the reason that a guest cut his foot on the boat.
Because you didn't sweep the fucking floor.
Right. Isn't that like, I don't know, boating 101, making sure there's no glass and or anything left over from...
Yeah, and he's like, I don't know, yachting, guest experience.
We're doing hand gestures over here. You can't see them.
Obscene hand gestures.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyhow, so then at the end, I messed up the slide part. I put that in the wrong spot. We see Culver and Adam trying to do the slide.
Oh, okay.
And that's when Culver says, relax, it's not the Navy. We aren't going to war. When Adam was like freaking out about the damn slide. And that kind of ends the episode. So, yeah. So, I mean, lots yet to be seen. We're, only a couple episodes in. And so everybody, I'm excited to see what happens. But, see how these people play out. I don't think Adam's going to last the season. No, he's going to be fired. I have a feeling.
He just can't, he doesn't seem to be cutting it.
Actually, I think he's going to quit. I don't think he's going to be fired. I don't think he'll make it to being fired.
Okay.
I don't think his ego could let him be fired.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Interesting. So, I mean, he leaves the boat in some way. That I agree with. I can't say which I would think it would be, but yeah. And Laura, I don't know that she's going to last the whole season, because she's like, her constant, like, I know this, I'm better than you, is going to kill her. Like, she won't be able to do her, like, it won't be tolerated. Her constant doing that is going to be the end of her. She's not.
I just wonder how she's going to vibe with everyone too. I feel like she went to bed the first night early. She took forever to get ready. I feel like there's going to be a lot of people starting to just dislike her because she's not a team player.
Yeah.
But she is all about the guests. I will give her that. She seems to be all about the guests.
Good. Solo Stu may be the position for her versus on a team.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway. Well, I'm excited. So we'll see what's in store.
Yep. Can't wait.
Yay. Okay. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.